guys, welcome to Infinity Watchtower. We are back. We were gone for a week because we had to prepare ourselves for the behemoth that was Power MorphCon.
And live afterwards.
Yes,
that was kind of the issue.
Well, we're back. We got Johnny back, as always, our henshin bro right here. And today we got a special guest, Cory.
Hi guys, what's up? Hey.
Cory, you probably see him on Twitch, or at least...
Oh, I hope you do.
Yeah. Cory, tell us about yourself to the people that don't know.
Yeah, so I do Tuesdays. Pachimari Network was the original show.
Yes,
it's Achievement Unlocked, and we do Overwatch and all sorts of other video game stuff. We've been playing a little bit of Raft lately. That's a fun game. But Kelly and I are running that stream, so yeah, you'll see me on Twitch. But today I'm here on the YouTube channel, and we're talking about Marvel, one of my other favorite things.
And DC,
Actually, in the last stream we did, we just ended up talking a lot about movies, so it makes
did,
perfect sense.
So what's Raft, though?
Raft it's a game where you're on a plank of wood, and you have to build out your raft by, like, grabbing stuff, like materials from the ocean, and you build up your thing, and you're, like, in the ocean. It's very scary. There's a shark. It's dangerous, bad things.
It sounds like if Titanic was written correctly.
Yeah.
It's like Castaway.
Yeah,
you know?
it is actually like Castaway. You're just on there and you're just trying to get stuff to build your
Is there
raft.
Wilson? Is there a volleyball?
No, there hasn't been a volleyball yet. Kelly and I are both playing though as co-op, so like
cool.
we're keeping each other company. We haven't gone mad yet.
Okay.
So wait, so when you play co-op, is there ever a chance where you can like betray Kelly and be like, I'm gonna take this water for myself and give you salt water?
There's a little checkbox for a friendly fire, so I haven't checked it yet, but maybe I'll just surprise her and be like, hey Kelly, you want to check out this spear real quick, and then just see what happens.
Dang.
Yeah.
Kelly, watch your back. Watch your back.
So as far as you guys stream on Tuesdays, as far as like games, do you guys change it up, or do you guys play the same game?
We try to change it up. We try to find new stuff to play if we can. But, you know, it's just whatever we kind of feel like. And we're still trying to figure out from people, like, hey, what do you want to see? Because, like, we're open to playing anything. We played, like, StarCraft before. We played Diablo. A lot of Blizzard games just because we love Blizzard. But we're trying to check out new indie games, too, and do those games for reviews for hashtag.
Yeah, that is perfect.
Dope. That's cool.
Yeah.
So if you guys aren't subscribed to our Twitch channel, you guys should check it out, because... you know, you guys are probably the most consistent ones.
Yeah, we try.
I try to go, like, Mondays, but usually Mondays after a con, it's very...
It's hard.
Anything
It's
after
hard.
a con is hard.
Exactly.
Mondays,
Yeah.
I don't know why I chose Mondays, but that is, like, the hardest day to
Yeah,
do.
we'll work on the schedule.
One of my friends came with the best term for AfterCon, like the Monday after. He calls it BedCon.
Bedtime.
Because literally after SDC or Anime Expo or Power MorphCon, then the next Monday you're just like, I just want to lay here. I don't want to get up. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done.
I convene with my bed. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's nice. It's
I
nice.
actually could barely even walk after the night getting back home from Power MorphCon.
Oh my
No
God.
joke, my legs didn't
Were you there
work.
Sunday? No.
No, but because I was working a different job that
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
and but I came home and I could barely walk because I'd been standing all day.
Yes.
Dude,
I didn't
no,
even
seriously.
dance. I'm just a piece of crap.
I didn't even dance. Oh, I did. Yeah. But I was dancing, but by myself.
Whatever. This man was not dancing by himself. This man was leading the crowd. There are several viral videos circling around of this man with circles around him, leading the people in their ways.
I don't know what classifies a video to be considered
8
viral.
views, right?
That's exactly 8, 6, 7, more than 5. He's
But
doing
it was
everybody.
fun, and if you guys were there and you guys had a chance to meet us, thank you for coming out.
Oh yeah,
It
seriously,
was
seriously.
awesome.
There was a few of you that like came up and putting names to, or putting faces to these names. It's very interesting. It's actually nice, because like a lot of you, it's just names scrolling through, and sometimes
and maybe an image, but that's not even the same. You know, seeing
look how tiny that circle
I
is.
can't
you
see
know?
that. I
But
can barely
like
see
getting
from
to know you guys, I mean, like in person, it's actually like really nice, because some of you guys are like super cool, some of you not.
Yeah.
So, I'm kidding.
And then so what was really dope too is because like we always have people watching, but it was cool to meet some of those people who don't always get in the chat.
Yeah.
So some of those people walk up and was like, I watch you all the time, or I really like this channel, like I love like what you guys are doing. So like Jezzer said, thank you so much.
Yeah,
it was super dope to see
We
everyone.
can't express how
I got to meet this guy named Jezzer for the first time. I hated him so much. Jeez. Oh, but that's okay, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Blackwing says he was there on Skype. Earlier, Toku said, "Hey, it's Cory." So,
What's up? Yeah,
so you
Toku
guys
was there.
you guys need to check out their show, because they are playing some fun games.
We were trying.
Yeah, and it's not just like those other Twitch games where they play the same game over and over.
Yeah, we try to mix it up. Sometimes we play the same thing, but you know, it's just whatever's fun, whatever's new.
Let me know when you guys start playing Age of Empires, because that game is what I used to play.
Age of Empires. We're going way back.
Low-key, though, let me know when you guys start playing the new Smash that comes out.
Oh.
I am so excited for that. Like every time I hear about a new character getting revealed, it gets me super excited.
I used to really like be into Smash Brothers, but after climbing the ladder a little bit in StarCraft 2, I'm like done with 1v1s. It's so stressful for me.
So yeah.
And then, have you heard about? Because you're an anime fan too, right?
Sort of. I'm not a huge anime fan, but I do love Cowboy Bebop. It's one of my favorite things of all time.
Okay, Kelly might know a little bit more about this.
She does.
Shonen Jump is releasing a game. The trailer just up like 5 days ago.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, the Jump thing, which is kind of like a version of Smash Brothers Melee with all the Shonen Jump characters, which just looked amazing. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh, dude, Goku, Luffy, like everybody there, Hunter x Hunter. It's like, it looks so amazing. It looks so dope.
You guys should check out. They're gonna play a bunch of fun games.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do new stuff.
I'll be watching.
Yeah, well, it's every Tuesday. They're there every Tuesday. What time is it usually at?
We're doing 6 p.m. Pacific, but we're thinking of maybe pushing it a little bit later. I think some of the later times are better, so we're still working out the exact time.
So, like always, you guys, thank you guys for showing up. And just so you know, we'll be posting a lot of stuff in THS Hashtaggers, our Facebook group, when we go live, what events we're doing. So if you guys
when Johnny's dancing,
all the fun videos.
Way
I'm getting excited for THS Hashtaggers. It's an amazing group. It's so much fun.
So if you guys haven't joined that group, please join. There was a huge jump and like new members leading up to Power Morphicon.
That's right.
Hopefully you guys stick around because we love you guys. So.
Like the Mikey Perez for Prom King campaign was enormous and so crazy.
Yeah, whoever he demolished as his competition, I mean, what a loser. I mean, jeez.
I felt bad. It was like, oh Jesus. It felt like watching like the Golden State Warriors like play LeBron in the finals again. Man. It was like I was like, Jezzer, you got a chance. It's like, oh no, Jezzer. Oh no, you don't have a chance. It is over.
It was taken so quickly.
So let's get into some comic book news. First off, we have news that Nintendo Switch is going to be adding an app or a program in their Switch where you guys could download and read comics.
It's subscription based too, correct?
Yeah.
That's interesting to me. I mean, because like there's obviously a lot of options for that, and people use their iPads or phones or whatever. But you know, obviously the Switch is trying to compete in that mobile market, and I think that's cool that they're doing that. I mean, any access to comics is good access.
One thing that I see a flaw with it though is that they don't have like it's all off Wi-Fi, so. Like that's right. There's no 3G. There's no.
So you have to download them first or something, some kind of system.
And because I know they've also been experimenting with like Netflix and Hulu and all these other things to add to, you know, because it's pretty much a tablet. So. We got a super chat from Anthony Davis, who we did
Thank
meet.
you.
Thank you, Anthony.
We did meet you at
Anthony.
Power Morphicon. It was great meeting you. It's I kind of made a little joke that you had 2 eyebrows, but that's Anthony
$2.
Davis. Yeah, $2. So thank you. Yes,
Thank you.
says, "Hey, it was great meeting you. Meeting you all. Yes, it was great meeting you. Sorry about the 2 eyebrow joke, but yeah. So going back to
Nintendo Switch.
Nintendo Switch. It doesn't really have like a 3G or anything like that. So everything that they'd have to add to it, you have to be
purely
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's fine because the way at least here in the United States, there's Wi-Fi everywhere now. I mean, it's not
for the most part.
It's not great Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you gotta go to Starbucks and log in.
Yeah, so I mean, do you have a Switch?
No, but I'm trying to get one because I was saying earlier, like I love Smash Brothers. It's like one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, we played Smash at E3 too, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was sick.
Would you be interested in reading comic books off of the Switch?
For sure. Like honestly, because you know me, I'm a comic book writer and a huge comic book fan, and so for me, anytime we can get comic books more out to the masses, I think it's a big improvement. Because the problem with it is though, is that like comic book shops are super dope and great. Shout out to the comic book, but the thing about it is though, comic book shops are like these like specialty stores that people don't always feel comfortable coming into. And so the thing about it is though, when you put comics on places like the Switch where anybody can access it, it just is going to increase the market and get people into comics who may not have been into it.
Yeah.
Like after you get done playing Mario or you get done playing Legend of Zelda, you're like, wait, Legend of Zelda has a comic book? You start reading that, and all of a sudden like, oh wait, Spider-Man? Oh boom, oh Avengers, boom, and you can start going down the well.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a chance to like make new fans for the comic book like community and everything like that, and bring more people in.
As a comic book writer though, is like when when they kind of shifted more towards like Kindles and iPads and phones and like digital comics, is that a huge problem for comic book creators? Like that they do that?
Not exactly, no. Because the cool thing about it is that it kind of gives people a chance to get their work out there like on a more regular basis, and it gives them chances to like to give their work to people that may not have met in person. Because old school times, like when the comic book came out, you had to go to conventions, you had to go tour around, like kind of what I do now. You had to go around to conventions and talk to people in person. And then maybe you get a chance to get into Diamond, they would distribute your book, but comic book shops wouldn't like take your book because they didn't know who you were. But the cool thing about this is that you can post like a video next to your book. You can put like the digital version online for free for the first issue. Check out the second issue. So no, it just gives people like a better chance, like mass distribution,
more options.
Exactly. Like places like Gumroad, Kickstarter are amazing places to find like digital comics.
You have some your comics are in Gumroad, right?
I have a couple of my issues up there.
Awesome.
My one book went through Kickstarter, and again, like the digital version, most people like the digital version over the paper version because the paper version just takes up so much room. Like there's a lot of people who sell their collections off now, and so having digital versions just makes it easier. So that way they can like just read whatever they want.
You Cory, did you grow up reading comic books?
Yeah, so I grew up with the animated series for Marvel specifically. So like 90s X-Men, 90s Spider-Man. Spider-Man's like my favorite Marvel character. And then I also later read a lot of comics. Like my dad always had like old Iron Man comics, which was awesome. And then my favorite series is Civil War, Marvel, mid-2000s. That I just absolutely love it. So yes, basically.
So me personally, I didn't grow up reading comics like you. I watched a lot of the 90s cartoons, and that's where I got a lot of my lore and all the stories. And back in the 90s, they kept it pretty close to the comic books. So,
I mean, especially with like X-Men being so derived off of like Jim Lee's original stuff, like that. I mean, that's like right off the page practically. I mean, as much as you can with that level of animation.
You know, a lot of people are getting back into comics now that, you know, all these movies and TV shows are coming back.
Yeah, well, and also, like, it's mainstream, right? It's not just, like, for losers. It's BS, but, you know,
would you like to go back? Would you like to go back in the past? It's like, hey, just hang on just a little
I know,
bit,
it's like...
just a little bit longer. You could enjoy it with everybody else.
And I obviously don't think that people were losers who read comics, but that was the mentality. You know, the mentality.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it's sad, but it's kind of thing because like you look at a comic shop for a long time, comic shops are old boys club and everything like that. And if you went in there, you didn't know things. It was like really hard to like find somebody who would teach you stuff and everything like that. It's changing really well nowadays. With a lot of diversity coming into comics in places like the Comic Book Man Beach or Jeffrey's Comics, where they're like more open to people. Like it's really starting to change. But no, I totally agree. For a long time, it was really hard to like break into the comics world. Whereas like video games, a lot more acceptable. Yeah, it has a little bit more cool vibe to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's shifted too a lot. I mean, there's some interesting things with video games, but that's for another discussion.
So we also had some news on a new writer going to. You want to tell us about that?
Oh yeah, so Eve Ewing, she's a writer. She's being brought on to write the new Riri Williams Ironheart series and everything like that.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, so it's been a big deal. Like people have been really cheering for it. A lot of people are excited about the diversity because it's another like black woman writer coming to a book and everything. So people have been really excited about it.
What have been some of her like best work?
See, that's the interesting thing. This is like one of her first times going to comics. She's known as like a fiction poet. She writes like Afrofuturism and stuff like that. She writes poetry and everything, and so she's very well versed in the fiction genre. But this will be her first time writing comics, really.
How hard? Yeah, how hard is it for someone that writes, you know, like fiction or not like nonfiction, or like how hard is it to jump into comic books as a writer?
It's really hard because the thing about it is though, there's things you have to take into account like pacing and page turns and a certain amount of action you have to put into every story that that many writers don't know unless you've been a comic book fan all your life. You've been writing for a while. That's the reason why Ta-Nehisi Coates' first run on Black Panther didn't do so well. Like that first issue, everyone kind of went out and bought because it was like, oh, Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing Black Panther, but people started to see the sales like started to decrease and trickle, and people kind of like walked away. And it was until the second run that he's got nominated for Eisner's for, and the sales have kind of gone up because he even admits himself, he's like, as I was writing this, I was figuring out how to write comics. So he was learning on the go. So that was kind of like, so I think Eve's going to run into the same problems. Like I'm super happy she's going to be like working on the series, but at the same time, she's going to run into those like some of these same problems. And just me personally, I kind of like, I'm cool with it. You guys give me your opinion about this. Because the thing about this was that she's coming from outside of comic books, and they've recruited this like all-star writer to come in and bring in and help us sales out and everything. But I'm like, if you want to get a black female writer, there's a lot of writers who are already writing comics who could have like gone to tap for this. People who are on the indie circuit and everything like that. Yeah. And so I'm like, why didn't you guys go tap one of them and give them a shot, because they already know the medium, and you could have helped like bring somebody in who's already knows like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Dang.
Since you're talking about comics.
What am I doing?
We're being handed a laptop, and there's stuff on it.
Just hit play now?
Hit play.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
I don't know what's happening.
Oh. So, yeah. Josh is actually putting together a little... he's taking the artwork that an artist had made, and he's turning it into, like, a motion comic. And that's actually really cool. I wish that we could show you guys this. Probably in the near future, like maybe a few months from now, maybe.
Plan on having a teaser ready to go in the next few weeks.
Okay, there you go.
Nice.
Teaser in the next few weeks. So yeah, it does take a lot of work. How long would you say this took you?
About 8 hours.
8 hours. That's a lot of work.
It's not making drawing myself. Ryan Lindbergh, who made our t-shirts.
Yes, Ryan Lindbergh, who made our t-shirts. By the way, those t-shirts that we had at PowerMorphCon were amazing. And right now, if you guys go to TeePublic, the link is in the description. There's a sale they're on sale for $14. So the shirts we had, the shirts that we had at PowerMorphCon are only going to be on TeePublic for a limited time, like maybe a week or two. But once that's done, it's done. You probably won't see them for a while. So right now they're actually on sale for $14, which is great, because that helps pay for. Because usually shirts on TeePublic are like $20, and that helps pay for shipping. And these are like some really, really cool designs. I don't know if you saw some.
Johnny and I were sitting at the booth selling them.
Yeah. I think I sold maybe. Me and Joe were trying to like sell. He had the Star Wars themed Power Rangers in Space one. I was trying to sell the Fast and Furious Turbo one, and then we also had a.
There's a Justice League
one. Justice League Once a Ranger. That was the 15th anniversary episode. We had.
The Pirates of the Caribbean, Pirates one for Super Mega Force, or Go Kiger.
And then there's the RPM one, which was made for like Mad Max.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's some real. If you guys go, the link is in the description. If you guys go to TeePublic, you guys can check them out. It's $14. We have all 5 designs that we had at PowerMorphCon there. I know there's a lot of you that we didn't have your size towards the end of Saturday. So there you could get all your sizes. You could pick. You can actually put these designs on, not even just shirts. You can put them on, like, mugs, cell phone cases.
I didn't know all this.
Yeah.
Baby onesies.
Pillowcases. Yeah. Baby
frames.
Laptop cases.
Posters.
Anything.
Baby cases? Is that what you said?
No. Baby onesies.
Okay, just making sure.
So, so check out TeePublic. We're going to have some real, like, we have those designs there, but we're going to have more cool designs coming.
So, and like Jezzer said, they sold out. Like, the cool thing about it is, like, literally day one, like, by day 2, we were sold out of, like, the 2XL. Then we sold out the XL. And it just kept going from there. Apparently, people are very big. I appreciate that. Yes. But, again, like, we were just selling out. So, again, if you get a chance, you got to go there and pick them up now because, again, they're going to be gone soon. And those designs are amazing. Shout out to our artists who put that together.
Yes, Ryan Lindbergh. I don't know if he's watching, but you did some amazing work. There are a ton of Power Rangers there that some of you guys are wearing the shirts the next day, and they're like, "Hey, where did you guys get those shirts? They're amazing." Yeah. So we had to show them where we got them.
I was kind of disappointed I didn't get a shirt because I was selling them and I'm just wearing some other shirt. It's like, what will happen, guys?
Yeah, it's like, we'll get you a shirt. What size are you?
Small.
That's easy. We had tons of smalls.
Yep.
Tons of smalls. Oh, we didn't.
That was a bold-faced lie.
Medium was the medium was.
That's fine. I'll take a medium.
So medium large is probably the one we don't get next time. So it's small. It's small. It's
the extremes.
Yeah, it's the extremes. So yeah. So if you guys are check out TeePublic. I don't know how long the sale is gonna go for.
Some are only minutes. Others are hours.
Okay. Yeah. So check it out now. You could do it as you are watching the show. On to next news. The channel Epix is actually developing a show about Alfred Pennyworth, and it's it's going to dive into like his story before he got involved with the Waynes and his journey with like British intelligence and stuff like that. So they're looking to cast a younger Alfred and kind of go in that direction. I don't know. Look, we try.
A loud sigh from Johnny's side.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Over
everybody. It's about to come.
Over the years, we've seen like a shift in Alfred's role. I remember back in the Schumacher movies, he was kind of just straight up just a butler.
He was a butler who just knew what was going on with Batman.
He knew what was going on. He made the suits, but we never see him make the suits.
He made Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
And then we had what's his name? Michael Caine.
Yeah.
He was around the same thing. He didn't really do much, but he
Not
was
physically.
Yeah,
but
like he was very well spoken, and
he always helped though.
Yeah,
like he was like he's the guy in the chair.
Okay, we got another super chat from Anthony Davis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys, if you guys don't know what super chat is, sometimes the chat goes so fast, and there's some things that you guys if you want your comment highlighted, it'll highlight your comment, and so we can read it on air. Also, it helps support the show.
Yes.
Helps keeps the lights on. Obviously, the lights on this side turned off right now. So hopefully they turn back on since Anthony Davis. Thank you for your donation. We really appreciate it. You said Tracy Lynn Cruz asked about my shirt. Yes, she her husband actually came by the booth. He said, "Hey, I want to buy some shirts." So yeah, it's a great shirt. That was my personal favorite because I love Fast and Furious. And
that was badass.
Obviously, nobody else at the channel does. So I was
what are you talking about? I love Fast and Furious.
I was the only advocate for the shirt. So
I love the shirt. I was like, "Can we get it? Can we get it in my size?" And they were like,
"No,
Johnny, no. Really? Okay, screw you too, Josh. Screw you too."
Fast and the Furious shirts just drive me crazy.
Yeah, he's flipping his.
Corey, puntastic,
boom,
puntastic.
Yep.
But going back to Alfred and everything like that. Yeah. So Corey, let's go with you first. What do you think about this Alfred potential TV show?
Well, it's called Pennyworth.
I don't know if it's even worth a penny.
It's actually worth.
No, but like really, like I think you can make an interesting show about almost anything. But the problem is, I feel like it's Warner Brothers TV development being like, we need more stuff. We need to just keep sucking at the teat of Batman, which is gross because we've all seen the Batman and Robin where he has those. Anyways.
Yes.
But like it's like, do we like how much can you take without actually making a Batman show? That's in my opinion that's what Gotham is.
Yeah,
and that's
we had five seasons of Gotham.
Yeah, and it's like you're just gonna keep trying to just get more money out of this, and it's like just make what everyone wants. Just make a Batman TV show, make Batman movies, do whatever. No one's really getting sick of Batman.
Next DC TV show, Bullock, Harvey Bullock. Just a show about Harvey Bullock.
I'd actually watch that.
Really?
I would watch that. Bullock is the shit.
Another super chat from Moomin Rider.
Woo!
I don't know.
Thank you, Moomin. Thank you.
Are you Moomin Rider again or no? I know who Moomin Rider is.
I know who Moomin Rider is.
He
as well.
revealed himself to a small group of people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, thank
That's
you.
right,
Thank
Nagami.
you, Moomin Rider.
Damn fool.
Yeah. It's not Daniel Nagami, even though he's using his name. So yeah.
What was his comment?
Okay, he said Turbo Shirt was my favorite. I love it. Well, Moomin Rider, you're my next favorite person.
Got
Thank
good
you.
taste.
You got good taste, definitely.
But can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Corey. Like you use a great knowledge right there. Like they keep trying to suck at like the teat of the Batman Empire. But I wouldn't say it's the teat. I say it's like the right dirty toe in a way.
Oh, that's
like,
gross. Not good.
Because the problem with it is though is that it's like you said, like, they keep trying to capitalize on the popularity of Batman, and Batman again is one of the most popular characters in the world, if not the most popular character.
Sure.
But the problem with it is though is that instead of making a show about one of the Batman main characters, they kind of go with any side character they can and try to milk it and exploit it for all it's worth. Yeah. Here's the thing: you're gonna do this you're gonna do this Pennyworth TV show. Yeah. Everybody's he's gonna be going on secret missions and whatnot. So pretty much we're going to be watching James Bond.
Yeah.
Everything but is the whole time we're watching this, we're gonna be looking for things oh look, he threw a little thing. Oh, that's like a batarang and blah blah. Where it's dude, effing serious.
Oh, it's nice reference. We get it.
It's look, if you want to do a Batman TV show, cool, but you want to keep Batman in the movies. I totally understand that. But Batman has a ton of subsidiary characters we could throw on the screen. You could do, for example, an Azrael TV show. Again, somebody who actually took over from the Batsuit for a while, so you can get away with that. You could do a Batgirl TV show, not actual Batgirl, but Cassandra Cain, one of people's favorite Batgirls.
Well, they are doing a Batwoman TV show.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's a step in the right direction.
Exactly. But this Pennyworth is just it's 2 steps back because, as I've said before, Gotham, It's hot flaming garbage. And again, I'm sorry for anybody who's enjoying that hot flaming garbage. But I'm sorry, but again, I cannot get behind that because again, it's just like even at some point they had gone so off the rails. They're like, yeah, we're not really part of the Bat universe anymore. So we're just making stuff.
Warner Brothers gave up a long time ago trying to make something coherent. I mean, really, the TV people, at least with like Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl, they're trying to like make something coherent. But then like the movie stuff, they're doing their own thing, and it's just they just need to have a meeting. I don't why they have a meeting,
they
guys.
have too many departments. They're like, hey,
can we just talk?
Should we talk to them about what we're doing? It's like, no, let's all just start doing our thing, and hopefully we meet in the middle.
I feel like it's always this. The movie guys are like, well, we would talk, but my ego's in the way.
Yes.
So we can't do that. And that's the same thing with Sony, actually, I think, is doing this with Spider-Man.
With Venom,
Where it's like, let's just pull everything that's related with Venom, even though no one asked for or wants this. Like, Venom is like, maybe. But, like, how do you have Venom without Spider-Man?
Yeah.
And then, like, you go to, like, Silver Sable and all this other nonsense.
Well, that one was shelved for a little bit.
Yeah,
so
because
I'm so glad.
Because it's stupid.
Glad. And I was not on board with that.
I mean,
black and
they
silver.
might bring some of that back.
Marvel Studios overruled them.
Yeah, good, because Marvel
silver,
Studios is like, this.
black and
Could you
silver.
stop being stupid for 1 second?
Is it because? Do you think it's because they wanted to use those characters in their universe?
No. Well, I don't know about Silver Sable.
Well, maybe Black Cat. They might.
Yeah,
want to use
definitely
Black Cat,
Definitely
but
Black
not
Cat.
Silver Sable.
Yeah.
Because I think the thing about it is that, again, I think Kevin Feige was getting it from two standpoints. One, he probably does want to use Black Cat at some point because she is a rich character who is part of the mythos. We talked about that last time. But in addition to that, though, he's like, look, you're muddying up the continuity. You're confusing people. Because the cool thing about this last Avengers Infinity War movie was that they were able to make a movie where they had to think about it. They didn't have to explain anybody's origins. That when we got in there, we were just like, that's Cap, that's Spider-Man, that's Iron Man, let's go.
Yeah.
And so the thing about it is that they've built this awesome universe now, so they don't want people muddying the waters. Where people are like, wait, so how does this relate to this? Because that's what's happening with Justice League. With Justice League, people are going there confused and like, how does this all come together? And so he doesn't want people muddying their waters, slowing them down. And it's a good call on his part.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Well, Kevin Feige knows what he's doing.
Exactly. That's low-key DC's biggest problem is that they needed Kevin Feige
They need
there.
someone who knows what they're doing?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I never would have thought.
Well, I mean, speaking of DC TV shows, we are excited and expecting a DC streaming service. And with this DC streaming service, you're going to have to fill it with content. And earlier last week, we did have some breakdowns on a show that DC was looking to put into development, and it's Stargirl. Do you know about Stargirl?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's more from the Silver Age.
Well, a little bit. So the original Starman is from the Silver Age, but then my bad. Sorry.
That's free beer.
And so she, so pretty much she was the original Starman is from the Silver Age.
Okay.
He was a member of the Justice Society of America, and then during the '90s he had this awesome run where it was this really eccentric hero who was the bastard son who kind of took over the role who didn't even want to do it.
Yeah.
And what's cool is he was a modern take on a superhero because he would for example if there was trouble he was cool, I'm gonna grab a Star Run and go fight it. And they're like, aren't you gonna put on a costume? That's dumb. I need to get there. Look, no, and he would just fly off. And so it was really good. And what was cool is the writer of that series actually owns that character, and that's part of the reason why DC doesn't use him that much. And so after that, later on when he retired, we got a super chat.
Super chat.
Hey,
Woo!
it's from Toku Kid. He says Paste Pot Pete needs a movie in the Venomverse. Paste Pot Pete.
Pace by Pete is a villain, but he's low-key a Fantastic Four villain, but not bad. Good reference. Good reference, Toku. Good reference. That's a deep cut right there.
I'm afraid of the idea of the Venomverse.
The Venomverse. It's a thing now. You just gotta embrace it. It's a thing.
It can't be a thing.
But speaking of Stargirl, we did have a breakdown on it, and so here it is.
DC Universe, Warner Brothers' highly anticipated DC-branded streaming service, is gearing up to launch sometime this fall. In addition to the giant library of past comics, movies, and TV shows, we're getting a slew of original programming like Titans, Doom Patrol, Swamp Thing, and wait for it, Stargirl. Stay tuned to find out what we've learned about the title character. This will be the third live-action interpretation of Stargirl. In her first live-action appearance, she was on Smallville, where she was played by Britt Irvin, and she was next seen as a recurring guest star on Legends of Tomorrow, where she was played by Sarah Gray. Now, for her solo series, the studio is looking to cast an 18-year-old actress of any ethnicity to play 15-year-old Courtney. Described as an intelligent, compassionate, and an athletic young woman, Courtney is witty as well as an incredibly kind individual who's living the perfect teenage life in Los Angeles, California. Her life is completely changed when her mom gets married and she is forced to leave her life in LA behind as she moves to Blue Valley, Nebraska with her mother and her new husband and his family. While she struggles to adjust to life in Nebraska from attending to a new school and living with her stepfamily, Courtney's life is forever changed when she discovers that her stepdad has a big secret. He used to be a superhero's sidekick, and Courtney takes it upon herself to borrow the cosmic staff, which leads Courtney to becoming a surprising inspiration as she leads a brand new generation of superheroes. Who do you want to see play Courtney Whitmore? Let us know in the comments below, and keep it to that hashtag show for everything latest on the DC Universe and Stargirl. I'm Joe with that hashtag show. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending in geek pop culture.
Ooh, that was pretty cool. Are you guys interested in Stargirl? Personally, do you think you think she can have a show, like a long series about her character?
The bottom line is, regardless of what the character's origins are, the writing can elevate that or completely destroy it. You know, I mean, Iron Man has had a long, awesome run in comics, but he was also not a household name. Yeah. Now he is because of
the movies,
the insight and like writing for these movies, like creating this thing. So, I mean, you can do anything with any character, but TV's kind of a, you know, it's a different arena, I think, too.
Yeah, and to piggyback what Cory says, I totally agree. The thing about it is, you look at Iron Man. Iron Man, again, he wasn't a household name, but he had a rich character history, and he had a long run. Like, if you're a comic fan, you can know you go to a comic shop, and there will be a new issue of Iron Man. Yeah. He's had great storylines where they've been able to play with the character, take him to, like, the darkest places and build him out. Yeah. And so there's a lot of things you can pick and choose from. The thing that I'm worried about with Stargirl is she doesn't have that. Yeah. Because they've never really been doing a long, ongoing solo series for her.
She doesn't have, like, a rogue gallery of villains.
Exactly.
Or at least a
few good
come
ones.
to mind, you know?
Exactly. And then in addition to that, though, again, when she was used really well, she was part of what was called the Justice Society of America. Yeah. So she was around all these old school heroes, like the original Flash and Green Lantern, everything like that.
If they do bring those characters in, I'd probably be interested in seeing
exactly. And low key, I'd be like, you know what? Why don't you just do a JSA show?
Yeah, there you go.
Because the JSA show, again, has all these cool characters, has all these great story arc moments you can pick from, everything like that. And it would give us a take we haven't seen before. Because I kind of feel this, again, one of those, again, cash grabs. It's like, hey, what's in right now? Teen superheroes, like Spider-Man. Let's make a few. Teen Titans, Stargirl, put it out. And again, I get it. It's a smart business decision. But at the same time, though, like, yeah, true, yeah, thank you. I was being nice.
Yeah.
But again, you do a Justice Society of America show where you're showing like an older superheroes version of stuff. And again, you have them mentoring like younger heroes. So you're getting that balance of like young teens with like older heroes and it's like passing the torch type deal. It's a much richer, deeper show that I think you can actually get away with. But this is like, I mean, I'll check it out for sure because I just always want to support the comic community. But am I excited for it? Not really. I'm hoping it's going to be good because again, she's a cool character. But I'm tentative. I'm tentative.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
But one character that is getting a whole series based on their is Batwoman. Ruby Rose was cast as Batwoman a few weeks ago, and I was excited. I was personally excited because I was surprised that CW was able to land Ruby Rose, who, in my opinion, was on the rise. Like, she was, one summer she had, like, Resident Evil, she had John Wick, she had what was the other movie that she was in?
Triple X.
Triple X, you know, she was on the
Return
rise.
Of Xander Cage.
There you go. So I was surprised when CW had landed her, but this wasn't shared with the community. There's
controversy.
Yeah, there's a few people in the community that weren't happy with the casting, which surprised me because she is actually the character is a lesbian, right? Mm-hmm. And Ruby Rose is a lesbian. So I thought, there you go. You're trying to
be real.
Yeah, you're trying to be real. You're trying to appease the fandom, but yet the fandom still isn't happy. Have you heard of this controversy?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, I read up a little bit about it, and I mean, it's just out of control. And unfortunately, people keep doing what you're not supposed to do on the internet, and that's feed the trolls. That's the number one rule. Being an online gamer, that's the number one rule. Don't feed the trolls. And people keep giving in. It's like they're giving in to the terrorist demands, and then the terrorists win. Yep. And it's like, it sucks because, like, I mean, like, I get it because when you see enough of darkness, then you're going to want to turn away from it. And I don't blame a person for that. But unfortunately, it's just going to keep enabling it.
I totally agree with Cory because it's kind of like, like, here's the thing, like, I totally understand that online harassment is a terrible thing, and you guys give me your viewpoint and tell me if I'm out of line here. But the thing about it is that I agree with Tori, like, when you kind of, like, get into it, it's kind of like a teacher mentality. Like, if you've ever been in a classroom, you know, this one kid who starts doing that one annoying thing, like, or something like annoying sound or whatever, right? Yeah. And then another kid's like, hey, let's both do it. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. And then,
if you guys don't know, Johnny is a teacher, and these are things that he does come across daily, and it obviously it pisses him off.
So much. So I was like, I'm just like, oh gosh, dang it, seriously. And so the one thing you know as a teacher is, you know, like the moment I say something about this, like, hey, you cut that out. Literally 20 seconds I'm here, and it's going to just keep going on from there. But I know if I just ignore it and it's like, give it 5 minutes, two things are going to happen. They're going to quiet themselves out, or their peers will be like, shut the F up. And all of a sudden, it solves itself. I'm just sitting there like, checkmate. And so the thing about it is, look, I kind of feel it's the same way with this because, again, I understand online harassment and all this stuff is terrible. But again, I look through as minorities and oppressed people, you know, you got to kind of like trudge through it, leave your profiles online, because the moment you take them down, they feel like they've won, and that's kind of the problem. And so if you leave your profiles up and you just ignore it, because guess what? Your fans are going to come to save you. Your fans are going to come to defend you. And guess what? Yeah. You don't need to read the comments.
You never have to read the comments.
Literally,
don't read the comments.
The moment I started doing like that hashtag show, Josh was like, so you should never read the comments. What do you mean? You should never read the comments. All right, well, fine. Okay, Josh, I'll never read the comments. But again, it's like, you sometimes you just have to avoid that.
So, correction, I guess she is gender fluid, and people were saying that she isn't gay enough. Another thing that they were complaining about is that she wasn't Jewish.
See, oh really?
Now, see, like, okay, so first of all, it's called acting.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to be the exact thing. If that's, you know, that's like this actress is, or however she identifies, I suppose. It's like, dude, like, if they are capable as an actor, then that's all that really should matter. Yeah. Like, is it convincing as a character? Do I believe that this, like, you can't possibly always match the exact thing. Yeah. When you're looking for people that you think are good, and like, you know, you can't just like make it a checklist, like, if this person isn't this exact thing, then they're not real. People can be more real than whatever the real thing is because they're talented actors. That's the whole point of acting. Yeah. Exactly. Is that you're not supposed to be the exact same thing. Like, if it's supposed to be the exact same thing, you're just shooting a reality show.
I do understand some like casting where it's like so far off that people get complaining about. Like, do you guys remember that movie when they did the video game movie Prince of Persia? Where they had Jake Gyllenhaal. I understand. Yeah. Come on, you guys.
But that's you know, when you're defined as the Prince of Persia, then yeah, it's not like this character's name is lesbian Jew.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on, right?
Yeah. Oh, Jared. Oh, Lord. Corey's going to get us in trouble.
That's not the
Nobody
name
look at the comments.
I'm just saying.
Nobody look at the comments.
That's not the character's name.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they are actors and actresses.
And the character is more than those two things. Those are aspects of, I believe it was like a rework of the character at some point. But that doesn't, those aren't the only defining factors of this character. Yeah. Every character is much more multifaceted than just one thing. Like, I'm not just a Chinese guy. Like, I'm a person. I act. I'm on shows. I write. Like, these are all things.
Actor.
That's another thing I do. But, like, those are all parts of my life. It's like, it's the same thing with these characters.
Yeah.
No, I totally
Rant
agree with
over.
You.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I totally agree with you. Because the thing about it is, I'm doing a lot of agreeing with Corey. I like having Corey here.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is that sometimes you have to sit down and ask yourself, is this part of is that facet of this character's identity enough part of the character where we need it?
Yeah.
Like that Prince of Persia example, or for example, Black Panther, Wakanda.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, sometimes there's a character who their race, their gender, their background is so much ingrained within that character that you need to have them that way. But there are other times we could like do a race swap or a gender swap, and you get away with it because guess what? Those aspects aren't a part of that person's identity. For example, about a month ago,
Storm, Human Torch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or like we were really happy about a month ago where they were saying like, wait, they're gonna make Dick Grayson like Nightwing possibly Asian. And we're like, dude, that would be so cool. And guess what? Looking at his background of being in the circus and like acrobatics and whatnot, like that still fits his origin. And guess what? Nothing about him says he needs to be white. And so, or going example, Kingpin and Daredevil, which is actually not that terrible of a movie. We'll talk about that later. But again, when like we have Michael Clark Douglas, who cast as Kingpin,
that's right.
Dude, he played with Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah. Thank you. He played the.
Oh.
He played that role so well. Like to this day, I still remember that scene where he tells like his assistant leave him. He's like, "Sir, what do you mean?" He's like, "I was raised in Brooklyn. You wouldn't understand these things." It's like, it's about to go down.
He was a really good Kingpin.
He was.
He was a really good Kingpin.
And then, so that's the thing, though. So sometimes you have to ask yourself, like, is race a part of this character's identity enough, or their gender, or their sexual orientation, where we need these things? And for Batwoman, her sexual orientation, definitely a part of it. And then being gender fluid, I mean, and saying she's not gay enough, okay, that's kind of homophobic within itself.
Yeah,
that's like, again, someone like, we cast Terrence Howard to play War Machine, like, he ain't black enough. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, did that happen though? Is that what happened to him? Okay, now we're switching subjects. But yeah, so the thing about this was that we can't start getting so nitpicky like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a line, I think, and, like, this is just, like, too nitpicky. Because, like, you look at Black Panther is a good example where it's like, okay, so, like, a lot of those guys weren't African.
Yeah.
But they're Wakandan. That's fine. Yeah, because they look a certain way. And it's like, okay, so we are just judging it based on appearance.
And then that gets a pass, though.
Yeah, and like that gets a, like, and they were great because they're good actors.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like, let's just... Maybe we should see the work before judging it.
Exactly. Like, for example, if we were casting a Miles Morales movie, again, live action, because the one that come out in December, going to see it, it's going to be amazing. But again, it's like, if we were casting a live action one, race does, like, factors like character's
that plays
identity.
a role, yeah.
So you do need to have a character who's African American. But again, like, for example, they did the same thing with Wally West. Wally West, his race did not define that character.
Yeah.
So that's why on the CW show in the comic books, they were able to change that character's race, and it kind of worked out for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go to the next. These next few news things are pretty quick, but for season 5 of The Flash, they cast Chris Klein, most notable for being in American Pie, as Cicada, who's the villain. The villain. I looked him up to try to figure out what it is, but I guess he's got like a dark background and he has like this dagger that he's able to take metahumans' powers with it. So he kills them and takes metahumans' powers. His story plays a little bit. Was he in Identity Crisis? Did he play a big part in Identity Crisis?
No, not in Identity Crisis.
But yeah, so he's gonna play a big part in the story alongside of Nora Allen coming, the daughter of Barry and Iris coming in. So it's interesting that they cast him because the character is they're looking for like an older like, you know, more
He's kind of got a little
little gray hair. But yeah, they're looking. So I'm interested to see how Chris Klein does like on because he's the main villain for the series. So he's gonna be a lot of these like big actors back in the day are, you know, coming back to TV. Which is fine. I mean, obviously, maybe.
TV's in the golden age right now, so
yeah.
And now they're coming back to television. It's not a bad thing because they're just giving it a wheelhouse to play in. So it's not surprising when they want to come back, especially during a good time like this.
Another actor that is in his, you know, he's like towards the end of his prime is Brendan Fraser, and he.
That's me. That's cold, dude.
I'm sorry.
It's been a long time since George of the Jungle.
With George of the Jungle, was it?
Encino Man.
Journey
to Center of the Earth.
Yeah.
The Mummy, like
towards the Mummy.
Towards the third Mummy, he was already like.
Wait, what?
That's right.
The third Mummy.
No, there was a good Mummy. The first one, which was amazing. There was a second one, which was awesome with The Rock, and then they stopped.
No, there's a third one. There was a third one.
What? Corey, have you heard of that?
I try not to think about it.
But Brendan Fraser.
Jezzer's going crazy.
One of my favorite. Brendan Fraser is going to be Robot Man in Doom Patrol.
Robot Man.
Man, yeah. So that's interesting. I mean, what do you guys think about those two casting choices?
I don't know much about the DC stuff, but
okay.
I mean, Brendan Fraser's capable.
Yeah, definitely capable. I mean, he's.
And I mean, these characters, they're established characters, but they're not like household names, and they're not like somebody's like favorite character off the list. So what's cool about this is it's going to give these actors the freedom to kind of play with them a little bit, and make them their own, and it makes them a little more malleable. So I think it's really really smart. And the cool thing about it is, though, you're not getting some like just unknown actor. You're, like we said, they're getting like people who have been in movies, people who have established who established a pedigree of acting and whatnot. Bringing them in is going to help flesh out those characters that much more. And again, bringing a lot of fun to it. And the cool thing about it is, with both those guys are just fun to watch. Like Brendan Fraser, like, you know, I crack jokes and everything like that. George of the Jungle. But at the same time, though, homie's a good actor. And again, he knows how to have fun and everything like that. Like, what's his name? Bedazzled? The one where he gets the 3 wishes or whatever?
No, my favorite one was Blast from the Past.
Oh yeah, when he comes with the hole and everything like that.
Where he's a 30-year-old like living in like a fallout shelter and he comes back up. That was I don't know. That's one of my.
No, it's hilarious. Yeah. I love how he doesn't understand baseball, and his dad keeps trying to explain it to him. And he goes to a baseball game. He's like, "Oh, so this is it." Yeah. So no, I agree with you. So that's the cool thing. Brendan Fraser playing this role is super dope. I'm excited for that. And then Chris Klein, right? No.
Yeah, Chris Klein. He's been in a few things other than American Pie, I guess.
American Pie 2, American Pie 3.
So yeah, it's not so far-fetched that they cast him.
There's a lot of American Pie movies.
Yeah, a lot of American Pie movies. Going on to the Arrowverse. Of course, they were talking about Batwoman, and she's going to be included in the crossover. The crossover is actually only going to include Supergirl, Flash, and Arrow. So it's going to start, the first episode is going to start on December 9th, which is a Sunday, with The Flash. December 10th is going to be Arrow, and then 11th, the Tuesday, will be Supergirl. Well, that's where they're going to introduce Batwoman into this Arrowverse. What's wrong?
I'm so scared.
Why?
What's wrong with my Legends?
What's
happening with my Legends?
I think with their storyline, it doesn't coincide.
Is everything okay,
Time
Johnny?
travels, Jezzer. Their storyline goes inside with everybody, Jezzer.
You don't want to.
They could be anywhere.
You don't want to force it.
Jezzer.
I'm sure we'll have one or two Legends in there.
Jezzer, are they canceling my Legends, Jezzer?
No, they're not. Legends is great.
They're only of tomorrow, not today, okay?
They'll be fine. Maybe they'll redo it, and then they'll send them in there,
They're going to start with these people first, and then...
All right.
It's kind of like how, Cap, Iron Man, Thor, and you had Hulk somewhere in there as that fourth one, and you kind of just start with those, and then you start bringing in the whole crew.
Well, the way
they've done it before though, because the thing about it is they've had them in there before. And this kind of like
they've had them in the last two crossovers.
It's kind of like you started with those three, then you brought in Hulk, and then the next time it's like, all right, Hulk, you can't come along anymore. Wait, what do I do?
They'll probably be like,
hey, that's what they did for Civil War.
Where's the Legends? Oh, they're off slaying some dragon or something. It's like, oh, okay, like little.
There's definitely a dragon.
Real talk though, I will say this does have me a little bit worried about the Legends show, the fact they're not included in this, and also I'm
not worried about it, because Legends is actually, for me, has been the most consistent as far as storylines.
I gotta be honest, I enjoy Legends the most because we've talked about this before. As much as I appreciate the CW, it does have, because you gotta remember this is the network that puts out like Vampire Diaries and all these other things, and so like Gossip Girl and stuff like that. Yeah. So they do have this like romantic element they put in all their shows, and the problem with it is after a while it does get kind of repetitive and like
kind of dry.
Yeah, but the cool thing about Legends was it was like it never like went that route. It was more like this is our fun show, this is our comedy show, and so I hope they keep it on. Like I'm not sure how well it's doing the ratings, but I really hope they keep it there.
First season blew. Once they got their footing with second season and on,
first season blew.
Yeah, it was bad.
But I will say this though, like giving you guys input on this though, why is Black Lightning not a part of this?
Oh, that is a good question.
Because here's the thing, like Black Lightning did a great job. A lot of people loved that last season. It's the most woke CW DC like superhero show we have right now. Why is he not part of this crossover?
I think that's for Black Lightning. I think Black Lightning doesn't want to be tethered down by the continuity of the other shows. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with DC movies if they were to go that route too.
CW's done a better job of having continuity than the cinematic universe.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What do you think, Cory? Then I'll give my opinion.
I mean, I actually don't have a huge opinion on it just because I haven't watched all these shows.
I totally understand. There's a lot of shows nowadays. Yeah. Like this Gotham thing is still on for some.
But one big news that came out of this Arrowverse crossover is that we will be getting Tyler Hoechlin back as Superman. Who, I mean, a lot of people were kind of like hesitant on him because he doesn't really give that Superman vibe. But they are casting Lois Lane.
That's right.
They have not had Lois Lane has not been in the CW or in the Arrowverse yet. Erica Durance who played Lois Lane in Smallville she's Kara's mom in Supergirl, but they don't have Lois. They mention Lois Lane. Cat Grant mentions Lois Lane in Supergirl, but they're looking to cast her and to bring her on. So we're gonna have. It looks like we're gonna have like a Batman v Superman thing with like Batwoman versus Supergirl.
That sounds really dumb.
Yeah. I don't.
Don't make it sound like that.
But if they could find a place, for Lois and Clark, like for Superman and Lois Lane within this universe, that would be great. I mean, I don't know why DC has been not wanting to touch making a Superman or a Batman TV show, you know.
I think they're just afraid that they really don't want to cross paths with the cinematics, but then again, you have Superman in this, and when the Supergirl pilot and all the buzz of it was coming about, it really seemed like they were like, okay, well, it's based off of like Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And then I think that the DCU people were like, hey, could you just screw off? And then they did, and they're like, all right, fine, we'll do our own thing then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like Batman and Superman are so big that I kind of feel like those are like golden tickets,
So
and they give them
don't touch it.
And they
exactly
just
because I mean they're right. You just drop a Superman movie, a fan base is gonna go see it. You drop a Batman movie, a fan base is definitely gonna go see it, and you're gonna probably make more money there than you would on a TV show.
But so you can do both. I mean, they're already kind of. I mean, theoretically.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much Arrow.
Look, they've got. We're talking about the casting of Superman.
Exactly.
He's right here.
No,
so,
I agree. I know I agree with you, Cory, because I was thinking about this and I haven't forgot about my Black Lightning. I'm going back to that. But the thing about this is because I was thinking about this when we were talking about it. The fact that they're doing this makes me wonder: are they kind of abandoning Superman the cinematic universe right now?
Yeah.
Because that's what kind of like is going through my mind. Is it the fact that like Superman hasn't been performing well? Again, Man of Steel was really controversial. Batman v Superman was really controversial.
Was it controversial or was it just bad?
I think it was bad, but we got to appease people.
I think, but also I think like they've taken a few characters out of the Arrowverse because of the movies. Like Suicide Squad came out, they got rid of they got rid of Deadshot.
Yeah.
They got rid of a few characters. I think the
wasn't Deadshot on one of the shows?
Yeah,
too?
they killed him off because they didn't want to like confusion. It's like, oh, this is Deadshot and Will Smith is Deadshot. I think they wanted to like just break this confusion. It's like.
And the way it could be a smart play because if they take Superman and put him on CW and they give him his own show, and this is kind of like the backward like was the backdoor pilot to this and everything like that. Could be a smart play to rebuilding the faith within Superman. Because the thing about it is, a Superman, like from a comic standpoint, he's a very hard character to write and a very hard character to sell.
Is it because you need more story? You can't just have it in a movie. You have to have like.
No, I think it's because he's just not a particularly well-written character from a modern-day storytelling standpoint.
Yep. In addition to that, though, like because of his powers and his abilities.
Yeah, he's OP.
I mean, exactly, because you're pretty much writing Jesus, and so it's kind of like, how does
Jesus who can't even be crucified?
Yeah, exactly. So unless you get a green rock.
Only reason he died was because of his own stupidity in Batman v Superman.
And so the thing about it is, so if they did this and this was a backdoor to get a Superman TV show and they bring in this Lois Lane, it would not be a bad idea to kind of reestablish that face. So I'd be on board with that. Also, going back to this
with Tyler Hoechlin.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Because again, it'll be fun. And again, I'll be honest with you, one of my favorite Superman shows, and I'm going old school right now. I'm not sure.
Lois and Clark.
Yes, Lauren Clark, New Adventures of Superman. Whoa, Dean Cain, that's my Superman, son. And so the thing about it is,
Superman.
Exactly. So the thing about it is, again, doing it this way, I'd be totally on board for that, and it could be a way to reestablish his character. Now, again, go back to that Black Lightning thing.
Amazing.
I will say that Black Lightning does need to hopefully be a part of this because when these crossovers happens, it's a great way for these characters to get exposure, and I would love to see him interact with these heroes because I think he brings his own vibe to it because he's more serious than like Barry is. He's got that grit to him, but he understands the community better than actually Green Arrow. And actually, he's actually an old school hero. So I think when he shows up here, he's actually like, nah, son, I do my own thing. I've actually been doing this longer than you.
I always thought like when Arrow came out that it's pretty much them wanting to do a Batman story, but they can't because it was pretty much Batman.
That's what Daredevil was.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
First season of Daredevil was basically what Batman, a TV show, would be.
Yeah, it was Batman. Batman Begins, pretty much.
I love Daredevil.
Batman Year One.
Daredevil is great. Going on to our last bit of news, or a few of our last bit of news. They came out that Karen Gillan. She actually spoiled a little bit of Avengers 4.
Just a wee little bit.
A little bit. I mean, honestly,
there's
so much like these PR people could tell them.
Actually, like 3 jobs.
But I think she didn't even realize that she was spoiling it, and it makes sense now. So we'll watch the clip and then let's see what you guys think.
Let's do it.
I know who her new BFF is, and I can't tell you. Oh. I can't, but I promise you, it's brilliant and unexpected and just so good.
Okay. Frenemy?
Oh, I think, I don't know about any frenemies. I mean, she's on a clear mission, as everybody is, to deal with someone with a glove. And I think that's, the most important issue.
No.
So I think people are
What did you guys think about that? So she pretty much what she was saying is that Nebula is gonna befriend or partner up with a new character, and she's pretty much talking about Captain Marvel.
That's actually not what I got out of that, but
Did you get that? I thought that's what I was talking about.
She just said BFF, and there's BFFs somewhere, but I wasn't sure entirely.
I agree.
If you are correct though with the Nebula befriending Captain Marvel, I would be very interested to see where that would go, because that's an interesting dynamic that I don't think really exists much.
Yeah. No, man, this is like
if that's the case.
This is my catchphrase this episode. I agree with Cory. Because the thing about this was that, like, when I think about Captain Marvel, I think about Gamora. I mean, the thing about this was Captain Marvel is a soldier, and Gamora is kind of a soldier, but Gamora is... Sorry, I'm saying Gamora. I mean, Nebula. Nebula is, like, this crazy soldier who's more vindictive, not even a really soldier. She's kind of like a psychopathic killer. And so what she would have in common with Captain Marvel is, like, kind of a stretch for me. And so I'd have to see how it's done, because, I mean, granted, she's going to have... By the time we get to Avengers, she's going to have her own movie come out. She's going to probably be someone who, like, pretty much lives in space. But the fact that pager went off, it kind of implies that she may not be on Earth at all. Yeah. She's probably out in space, like, dealing with the Kree. It's probably the reason why I haven't got invaded or something.
Doing space stuff.
Exactly. Moon rocks, who knows? Yeah. So, again, like, that kind of surprised me. Now, she said she'd have something in common with somebody. Now, if I had to take a guess, and if we're talking about, like, who do I think Nebula would have something in common with, I think it would be Black Widow.
Black Widow?
Yeah, because you think about Black Widow. Black Widow was raised to be an assassin. She was raised, again, she had her ovaries or something removed so she could have kids. Right. And for a long time before she was a hero, you got to remember, she was a villain. Like, when she legit was a villain.
At the very least, an assassin.
Did all this kind of stuff. Exactly, yeah. For the longest time, she was a spy and everything like that. Yeah. And so, if she's going to be running around like best pals with somebody, another girl and everything like that, who's also like a badass fighter and everything like that, I could see her and Nebula. Because think about it, everyone else might be like, we have to stop Thanos. And then someone's like, we got to kill Thanos. And Cap's like, we can't resort to that. We can't give in. And then Nebula and Black Widow just look at each other across the room like, we about to kill him. We about to kill people. Yeah, we are. We adore Cap.
Or even alternatively, not just on a moral level, everyone could be like, we have to fight him head on. And they're like, actually, we have a different way of going about it. You know, because, I mean, Nebula, maybe not. She's probably like, I'm going to slice you in the face. I'm going to crash a ship into you. But, you know, Black Widow could be like, hey, let's do this other thing. I think you're smart. You've got these crazy implants. Let's do this.
Exactly.
So,
like poison people.
Yeah.
Poison. He still eats.
Poison.
Another thing that it was like a week ago that released is...
About a week ago.
Is a little video clip that Tom Holland had.
It's fun.
Had shot. It seems like... little teasers that they want to do. They want to like add Tom Holland there and pretend like
he's clearly he's doing all these things. Like, you know, that's what they've done. Like, it's part of the contract. Like, they had the script reveal or whatever, and like they've had the poster reveal and all that. So Tom Holland's been their like guinea pig with all that.
It's like, oh, it's not working anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It's not working anymore. So he released a little video clip talking about something, and we'll see what it is.
Hey guys, so the Brothers Trust, again, thank you for the amazing support. It's been incredible. If you want to come and see more awesome stuff like this, go to my Instagram account, go on the link in my bio, go on the Brothers Trust website, and you'll get to come to set, hang out with me, and it'll be amazing. And for the record, I do all my own stunts. All of my own stunts. I never have a stunt double, it's always me. Tom Cruise does a similar thing, I'm the same. I always do my own stunts. 3, 2, 1, go! Greg? Where'd he go?
Cut that! His acting's not that great.
Well, it's like what I don't think that I bet that was one take. I mean, really, like
that was one take.
Whatever.
I mean, obviously it has to be one take. That's a lot.
Yeah,
of work.
That's a lot of work. You gotta get that reset.
So what you can take from that is that that's his stunt double, and the water hole thing. So people are like speculating that Hydro Man is gonna be in the next Spider-Man film.
So, Spider-Man, one of my favorites. Question: Hydro Man, Mysterio, any other particular things that you would want to see there? And do you think that there's validity to this Hydro Man thing? Because this is, I mean, water.
I mean, it's water. I mean, it looks like they're filming in Venice or something.
I thought it was England.
Or yeah, they're filming all over the place. It's some kind of like field trip. But
Gosh,
I mean,
field trips.
Hydro Man. there's no other real villains that
blast people
deal
with water.
Yeah.
No, I suppose not.
So
well, there's water hose, man.
Yeah.
There's water hose.
So
man.
if there's Mysterio, there's Hydro Man,
and then there's the water hose. There's a bunch of women.
And there's Liquidator. Deep cut for people who know what I'm talking about. Liquidator, you know who I'm talking about.
Liquidator.
That's a deep cut.
Works for the bank.
That's some Dark Queen.
And then we
stuff
still
right
have
there.
we still have Scorpion in the universe. It looks like they're trying to build, maybe not.
Scorpion was in Homecoming, sort of.
Yeah, sort of. His
Mac Gargan.
Yeah.
He was being set up, which is cool.
Yeah.
But probably not in this film, but it looks like they're trying to build a Sinister Six.
Well, that might be a bit of a stretch, I feel like. Sinister Six. Well, just because like they're so focused on making sure that the Thanos stuff is done, and then whatever MCU stuff is, because Spider-Man is not just living alone. He's got the rest of the universe, and Sinister Six is a lot. And I thought that a lot of those characters. Well, I don't know who still belongs to Sony alone, and who belongs to Marvel Studios.
I think the deal is, because just like we talked about, I'm just speculating right now.
Yeah.
But we talked about that Silver Sable Black Cat movie, Black and Silver, and the fact that Kevin Feige was able to shut it down.
Yeah.
I think he has like free reign to like borrow characters from the Spider-Man movies because they share ownership of it now, and they're making money off of it. So it's kind of like, look, I'm gonna take this character, but I'm gonna bring you back $50 million. And they're like, okay, Mr. Feige, whatever you say.
Yeah.
So, and I don't mean to be honest with you, like, I do think they could potentially set up a Sinister Six movie. Like, I don't think it's this movie per se, but you got to think about it. So, first movie was Homecoming. Second movie was like it's going to be like Field Trip and everything. Far From Home. It's a Field Trip movie, and then your third movie will probably be Graduation. And so for Graduation, again, he's going to go through probably like the biggest trials of his life. So that'll be a dope place to introduce the Sinister Six. Because I mean, honestly, if this was like 10 years ago, we would definitely see with the Graduation probably do a Venom movie or something. But this would be the perfect place to do a Sinister Six because we've never seen the Sinister Six on screen, and we know from Spider-Man the animated series as well as the books and everything like that, people love the Sinister Six. And there's a bunch of different incarnations you can do of them, so that we can mix them up and stuff like that. And again, the fact that we have the Scorpion, the fact that we already have the Vulture, we can low key get the Sinister Six by the third film.
I would actually be very surprised to see Vulture back. A, because it's Michael Keaton, and like, does he want to do that again?
And then
B,
they kind of build him up to be an anti-hero.
Yeah, and like he's not like evil, and he actually respects Peter in some way. At least A, whether he wants to save his identity because he was like, this guy doesn't deserve bad things to happen to him, or B, because he really just wants to kill him for himself, which I would be genuinely surprised if that's the route they went.
But see, that's the cool thing you could do with that, because you could have the movie set up, again, just still speculate, where he could like start off, he wants to kill him for himself, but he has this begrudging respect, especially because he's friends with his daughter. But by the end, because you got to think about it, when Spider-Man's ever fought the Sinister Six, he's always had to like up the ante, bring some help, blah, blah, blah. So it could be the Vulture who like turns with them and helps them fight these guys off or anything like that. And then they could low-key write Michael Keaton out because he could die doing that, and Spider-Man defeats him, and they kind of move on to the next thing, because we have had different incarnations of the Vulture.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's mainly the suit.
Exactly.
As well, as the Vulture. Toomes is him, and he's a great character, but yeah.
Exactly. So it gives us like a lot of options to play with and things we could potentially like see what develop.
I mean, for coming from the animated series, like when I think Sinister Six, I'm like Chameleon, and like Chameleon's hilarious.
They could add a Chameleon, like just like if they're filming right now, how are you gonna know? Like,
that's true.
There's a chameleon, you know?
Exactly.
I mean, we talk of scrolls and all that stuff too. You know, it's the same thing.
One of our producers said that the film is co-produced. The money is split. Sony only owns the movies, but Sony keeps everything.
The Spider-Mans they're sharing.
The Spider-Man movies, Sony gets the money.
And Silver and Sable would have been them producing, them keeping all the money.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, well, as far as what I know, like Spider-Man is usable in MCU like movies, and then Disney takes that money like off of Avengers, Civil War, and then Homecoming was all the money went to Sony, and they are able to borrow the characters from that.
That's interesting.
That's what I recall.
And going back to our conversation about the Chameleon, I think low-key, because again, when we saw that clip and like I see young people doing the Hydro Man speculation, I'm not convinced of that yet. But the fact that it's taking place in Europe, I'm like, Europe, what's in Europe? Bunch of old stuff, bunch of museums, stuff to steal. Chameleon. It sounds like the perfect thing for Chameleon and everything like that.
I think that's what they're like anticipating the plot to be, that Mysterio is trying to steal something too. I
would love to see Mysterio. I want to see Mysterio so badly. I just love the idea of having Mysterio around. And Alternatively, also, well, if you have something to say about Mysterio, that is.
Go ahead.
Well, okay, so the other character that I just desperately want to see interact with Spider-Man is Kingpin. So badly, because I loved the interaction between Kingpin and Spider-Man in the 90s animated series. Now, I don't know if it would exactly work with Netflix Kingpin.
You don't want Vincent D'Onofrio?
I do. I think he's perfect in that world, but I think it's just a little bit different. But I would still I would still love to see that.
Yeah, I was actually talking about this like a couple weeks ago on the same show because Kingpin was originally introduced in Spider-Man's comic, and so I would love to see him there. Even when they did the updated version, Ultimate Spider-Man, the first villain he kind of goes up against is Kingpin. So to see Kingpin there would be super dope.
I want that. So,
but I would say this though: the cool thing about using the Chameleon is that we would definitely get 2 villains because again, he is wily and everything like that, but he would be enough to like carry a whole film by himself probably. So we would probably get the second member of the Sinister Six here, so we could get a Chameleon and, for example, a Mysterio. Yeah, that'd be a good team up to be stealing stuff and everything like that. Or we could get maybe the Rhino. We can get a lot of cool options with this.
Yep.
Well, that's pretty much all the news we got today. But we are starting something new, Johnny. We have a pull list that you're gonna help us out with.
I am.
Yeah.
More work?
Yeah, more work for you, Johnny.
Okay, what am I doing now? Oh, okay. So my pull list. So somehow I was tricked into doing this, but here we go. So, but it's my pull list every week where I'm going to talk about some books that kind of caught my eye and some other things I read. So you know I'm a big comic fan. Not only do I read comics, but I read manga and online stuff and everything like that. Yeah. So 2 things that kind of caught my eye were, 1, meet the newest Teen Titans. Ooh. So this book came out this week and it was really dope. The cover art kind of got me and everything like that. It's really sweet. I'll pass it down so you guys can like kind of flip through and take a look at it.
Is that Lobo?
Yep, that's Lobo's daughter. And so they're using the Wally West, Kid Flash, the Wallace West. And so when I took a look at this, because everyone's been trying to hype this book up and everything, 1, I will say the art is amazing. The art is super dope. The cool thing about this is a lot of times with DC books, sometimes the cover art doesn't match the interior art. But honestly, with this book, it's held up to quality. The pacing's really good with the art. The storytelling is really great. So the artist is stepping up big time. Jezzer, who's the name of this artist? I believe it's Kang, right? It is, yeah, Bernard Chang is the artist, and he's doing a great job. Looks good. Now, the one place I will kind of say the book kind of gets held back from me is that right now they're taking the Teen Titans, and they're pretty much turning them into the Outsiders. And people who are familiar with the Outsiders...
Is that with Arsenal and... Red Hood in them?
Exactly, but before that, it was Nightwing and the Outsiders, and before that, it was actually Batman and the Outsiders. And the whole thing about the Outsiders were there were these group of heroes who went around and got villains before they actually did something. They were like hunting villains down. Okay. And so with this new team led by Damian and whatnot, the whole aspect of it is they're trying to hunt down villains and whatnot. So if you are a big fan of Outsiders, you would definitely love this new Teen Titans run because it definitely has an Outsiders vibe where they're like these like heroes who are hunting down villains and stuff like that. So it's cool in that aspect. However, for me, as a Teen Titans fan, and again, I love like the Teen Titans support network where it's like you got all these damaged heroes are together. It's almost like a trauma support and everything like that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of there because you have all these characters who have come in who have tragedy in their lives because we get introduced to like Crush, which is Lobo's daughter. We get introduced to Red Arrow, who's like there now and everything like that. And
which Red Arrow is that? Is that Speedy? Is that
It's a new character they've introduced, and she's like pretty bad at. She's like assassin skills. She's willing to kill and everything like that.
It's very serious.
She has a lot of stuff in common with Damian, and Damian even comments to like 2 sides of the same coin. Yeah. So it's pretty dope, and so we got a lot of cool characters here. For me, it doesn't feel like Titans, but again, if you're a fan of the Outsiders, this is definitely a book you should check out. Awesome. You'd be a fan of it, and it'd be something that you'd want to read. Awesome. The second thing I want to recommend, and again, I'm going to go off the beaten path here because you don't need to pick up everything up in a comic shop. Sometimes you can read online for free. And if you go into the Webtoons app, which you can download on your phone, you can check out this cool comic series called Let's Play. It got recommended to me by a friend of mine, and it's actually a romance comedy comic that you can read on Webtoons, and it's really funny. It starts off with this girl who wants to be like an indie game developer, but this famous YouTuber actually goes and plays her game and gives her a horrible review where guess what? She gets attacked by the fans. So the fans come after her and they give her a really low rating and everything like that. And the thing about it is that when she looks at this, she gets really downtrodden. And later on, when she goes out into her hallway, that YouTuber is actually moving to our building now. And so she confronts him about it. And then what they both realize is that he never played her game correctly. He played it as like an action game where it was actually like a puzzle solving RPG type deal. And so because
he's just bad.
Exactly.
Just because you suck, that means you know, you're going to criticize somebody.
Exactly. So I would say if you like romance, comedy, comics, everything like that, definitely check this out. It's pretty funny. It's got some dope artwork. And what's really cool is, again, this is an indie artist trying to make their way in the field. And so she starts off kind of rough, but as each issue goes on, she gets better and better with the art. And the cool thing about reading this on webtoons, it's like reading digital comics, but you scroll up, so there's a lot of movement here. There's some cool things they can do with like digital comics on your phone, and so it's a really quick, easy read. So if you're looking for some free comics to read, definitely go check out Let's Play on webtoons. It's fun, it's funny, and it might be up your alley if you're looking for that romantic comedy stuff.
Question: do you think they will, or do you think they won't?
That's the cool thing about this, though. So there's the they or won't they aspect of this, but I think they will. But they set up a lot of red herrings, though. Like, so it's kind of like she has like 4 different options that she can go with. There's this guy.
Wow.
There's a guy that works at her coffee shop. This guy named Link, who kind of looks like Link from Legend of Zelda. There's
amazing.
this guy who's a programmer at her job, and there's also her boss, who's kind of hitting on her inappropriately, trying to get a promotion or whatever. Wow, so they kind of set up all this stuff, and it was kind of interesting as well. Because you know, in comics, there's always the fan service. Yeah. Like, we're gonna draw the big boob girl and blah blah blah.
Yes.
But in this aspect of it, of course, yes, I know very well.
Yes, I am.
But and this what's funny about this is though, it's being drawn by a woman, and she does a lot of fan service for the female audience.
A lot of dudes.
Exactly. So as I'm scrolling through here, there's a lot of times like dudes are being shirtless. I'm like, okay, wow, I need to get to the gym. I don't have abs like that.
Yep, that's a shame. I feel terrible.
Exactly. But it's really cool series, again, if you like romantic comedies and things. And again, the cool thing about it is it's free. So if you want to, like, just go take a look.
With free.
Yeah, it's like free 99. So go on the Webtoons app, download it. It's like their #1 rated comic right now, and see if you like it.
Well, thank you for that pull list, man. That's
for sure.
Awesome.
For sure.
Well, that's the end of our show, but where can we find you guys on social media? Cory, we'll start off.
You can see on the thing there, I'm at Cory the Voice Guy. That's
You
Instagram,
got a lot of cool
Twitter.
Spider-Man cosplays.
Yeah, there's a little bit. I actually don't know. My Instagram is just sparse and terrible.
Yeah,
but
mine too.
But mainly YouTube, Cory the Voice Guy. That's where I post videos. So just I do like Overwatch Machinima and do voiceover stuff.
I love those videos. Have you seen his commercials?
Check them out.
His Machinima commercials.
They're fake commercials. They're funny,
but they're so good. I want that steakhouse now.
Yeah.
How about you, Johnny? Where can we find you?
You can find me at JohnnyP313 on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me at JohnnyP313 on Gumroad. And again, if you ever want to check out my comics, you go there. You can pick up a copy. They're only like $5 or whatever, and they're fun reads.
Where else can we find you though?
You can also find me at Palm Springs Comic Con this weekend. I'll be at the #show booth. We'll be doing some interviews with like Jim Lee and some other cool people. We'll also be like selling some of our awesome shirts, and I'll be selling my comics as well. And then in about 3 weeks, you can find me at Portland Rose City Comic Con. I'll be up there selling my books, hang out with fans, so if you get a chance to come on down. And by the way, someone just asked in comments like, Johnny, is that it for your pull list? Dude, my pull list is long. And so I'm only giving 2 books every time I do this. And so I'm not going to give you like all 30 copies of what I'm reading. But again, 2 books a week. So
that would take a whole lot of time on the show, but yeah, exactly. His top favorites. You can find me on all social media at Jezzer. And Cory, thank you for filling in for Joe.
Yeah, of course, man. Anytime.
I mean, you're always welcome back.
I don't quite look like Joe,
not even,
but I try to.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I have glasses. That's about it. I don't wear a hat ever.
No, I don't. I think Johnny's the only one that wears that.
Covered.
But you guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for always supporting the show. Be sure to
like, share, subscribe.
Be sure to join THS hashtag because we have some really cool, fun things that are coming up, and that is probably and Twitter is probably.
And you can catch a lot of news through that. Like
definitely.
that's where we break a lot.
That's where we break a lot of the news, and we share it there. And you guys share it out. Share this channel out to all your friends that share the same likes as you guys do. Because I mean, if you're enjoying the show, I'm sure your friends that you share a lot of common things with will enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and definitely hit that notification bell.
Like
the thing about it is we're doing live shows all the time. And don't forget we have our other channel, Pop Culture Renegades. And guess what? We do After Darks and other random things all the time. So when you hear that notification bell, you get to hear right away. It's like, get that notification. We're all do something new and be on air live.
Yep. And if you're interested in video games, please check out Twitch.
The Twitch channel on
primarily
Tuesdays.
doing Tuesdays, but we're also going to try to do some other days. So
and if I'm free on Tuesday, I might want to like jump in and
play
a video game. Play a game with you.
Playing PC, so get with it.
And I heard we can like get as many people in there possible, so I want to come in there just like nap in the background.
Johnny will just be there. Yeah.
Join the Twitch.
Just get a green screen behind you, and you'll just be superimposed over the game.
Exactly.
We should talk about like having like video game nights or something.
Oh,
where we're all in. Like we're all in the same room. I miss those days.
Oh, dude. You know? Wait, so here's the thing, because I saw like, so you play Melee, right?
Yeah.
You play Melee, right?
I played all Smash.
Dude, so yeah, when that new Smash comes out, we got to get a game going.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up to date with everything trending
in geek pop culture.
Geek pop culture.
We out.